Every young man wants money, freedom, and respect. But most go about it backwards. They chase money and never become valuable. In today's video, I'll be showing you why mastering skills is the real path to power and how money actually follows the skilled and not the desperate. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. I apologize, I feel like I've been gone for about 2 to 3 weeks. And realistically, I haven't been gone. I've just been posting on my second channel. So I've created a whole nother channel where I'm focusing more on my lifestyle right now and how I'm leaving my job. Well, at this moment in time, the video will come out after I've left my job. So I've left my job to go full time on one, creating content, but two, my business. But yes, I've been gone, but I am back. And one thing I've really been focusing on is skill acquisition rather than chasing money. And I saw a video about this on TikTok and it really doubled down and made me really want to make a video like this as fast as possible. Because I believe, as I've spoken about, every single young man wants either money, freedom, or respect. It's just inclined within us. Our human nature is for us to acquire these things, just as men. And a lot of young men truly believe that the way to acquire these things is just choosing the next shortcut or chasing after the next thing that everybody's doing. But I want to tell you guys today that the smartest thing you can possibly do in your youth is actually to acquire skills. Now you may look at me and say, where is your material things to say, okay, you've done it, I haven't done it. But I know for a fact, after studying so much and knowing where I will become, that skill acquisition, especially in your youth, is the smartest thing you can possibly do if you want to accumulate real wealth over a long period of time. So no more time wasting, let's get straight into today's video. Point number one, most men chase the wrong thing. Most guys want to be rich, but have no value to offer. Now, you may think that money just comes out of nowhere, but Charlie Morgan actually explained this, and I've actually forgot his definition. But one thing he really hones in on is the fact that if you want to make money, you must provide value. Now, I recommend go watch a Charlie Morgan video or search up Charlie Morgan's definition of value. I'm pretty sure it is you do something to alleviate somebody else's pain. It's along those lines. Basically, you solve a problem and the problem that you solve makes somebody else feel less pain. That is it. That is what value is. Now, if you don't learn that, if you don't try to become somebody who problem solves and makes somebody else's life easier, you will not make money. You will not get rich. Now, you can watch all the videos in the world on how to catch the next crypto bull run or all the videos in the world on how to do another thing. But if you do not solve people's problems, you will not make money. It is that simple. And I spoke about this. Chasing shortcuts, crypto, dropshipping. You're chasing the next big thing, the thing that everybody speaks about. Maybe it could be AI, something arbitrage, all these other big words that people use to describe all these shortcut niches and all these shortcut business models. The thing about it is that if you're not truly solving somebody's problem, if you're not becoming somebody who's valuable, who solves somebody else's problem, you will not become rich. It is just not going to happen. You may make some money, but that money won't stick with you. Now I'm going to tell you a story about myself. I used to be in dropshipping. I made quite a lot of money dropshipping. I think I spoke about it multiple times on my channel. I definitely spoke about my second channel. So long story short, me and my friends went into dropshipping around 2023 going into 2024. And we caught Q4 in 2023. Now we made a lot of money. I believe I made around like 9 to 10 grand in about 2 months or a month. One of my friends made around 20 grand, the other one made around like 7. But in the total span of us doing dropshipping around that time period, I think, yeah, the main guy, he made around 20K. Who's my main business partner right now, actually. I think he made around 20K. I made around 15, 16. And my other friend made, well, Prince, if you guys remember him, made around like 12 grand. Or something like that, maybe a little bit more. We made stupid amounts of money. Not profit, though, that's revenue. Probably profit would be maybe 50% of that. I think we had very good margins. But we made all that money. Now, the thing about it is that we made all that money, but we had no skills. So we made that money, but the money left. The money completely disappeared because we didn't acquire it through honed skills or mastering skills. We acquired it because we found a glitch in the system and just pressed on with that glitch. And we made money through that glitch. But what happens when the glitch gets fixed? We lose our money, which is exactly what happened. We lost our money. But now what we are going into, at least me and my business partner, it means we are now focusing on the skills that we did not have back then. And back then, if we had these skills, we probably could have stuck with it from then and just kept going. But we didn't have those skills. So we lost the money and then we ended up being at square zero. Now, no skills equals replaceable. Money never stays with the replaceable. So if you think that you can learn how to catch some next spike on a bull run and suddenly you'll become rich, sure. But that is replaceable. If you think you can get lucky and make a meal, sure. but you are replaceable. These are all replaceable things. They're not skills, it's all replaceable things that can actually happen. And you can do that as many times as you might possibly like, but there will be somebody who knows the skill and will easily replace you. You do not want to be replaceable. You want to have an irreplaceable skill so you can stay ahead of the curve. And that does not happen from chasing after the next big thing or chasing after the next thing that somebody's spoken about. It's about focusing on a skill and doubling down on that skill and just studying it and becoming a master at it. Number 2, why skills are more valuable than money at first. So money equals skill plus value plus problem solving. Basically, value and problem solving are basically within the same things, as in for you to provide value, you have to solve somebody else's problem so that their pain will be alleviated. But yes, that is basically money. Money just comes to the, well, it goes to the person with the skill that provides the most value, that solves the most problems. That's it. That's literally all it is. It's nothing else other than that. And I think a lot of people have the misconception that money, it's funny because even though we know money doesn't grow on trees, we have the thought that money just comes out of thin air and we want to acquire money from thin air. We want to do nothing and achieve money. But this is the formula. Have a skill, that skill has to provide value and it must solve somebody's problem and you will make money. It's that simple. Now, skills equals leverage. And the more leverage you have equals the more you'll get paid, the more trust you will have, and the more dependency you will have. Now, if you are the person who is depended on, the person who has the skill, which means you can leverage these things, you'll be the person who gets paid, and you'll be the person who has the most trust. And you'll be the person who'll be leading whatever market you're in. Let's say, for example, you are the best salesman within a company. Well, you are actually basically the most trusted person in terms of selling the product. The most dependency is on you because you are the leading salesman and you probably get the most pay. If I was to speak, for example, for the organization which I work for, well, now until I quit, I work for David Lloyd. And if you can see inside the organization, at least the hierarchy, the person who gets paid the most within our specific club is the general manager because he has the most skills. He knows everything, if anything. Any problem that anybody has at any single level, we all just basically go to him. Well, you go to a line manager, but the managers go to him. So he's the person with the most skills who knows the most answers. That's why he gets the most pay, he's the most trustworthy, and he's the most, well, he has the most dependency on him. So you want to be the person with the most skills. Now, if you have the most skills, you will have the most money because most money will come to the person with the most skill. It's a literal equation here. Where's my whiteboard pen? If right now, money, if you want to increase the money here, just increase the skill, literally. Increase any one of these variables. You either increase the skill, increase the value, increase the problem solving, increase any of those variables, and you will make more money. It's a simple mathematical equation. So that's all you want to do. You want to increase one of these 3 avenues within your life, whether you increase the skill in your life, most likely that, because even providing value and being a problem solver, these are skills in themselves. So you increase these skills, you'll make more money. So in a world full of shortcuts, being highly skilled is your unfair advantage. So nowadays, everybody's choosing the shortcut. Everybody's choosing the easy way. Pardon me. But if you are the person in a world full of shortcuts, in a world full of basically losers, in a world full of people who aren't even trying, if you are the person who is highly skilled, you have the advantage that you will be above every single one of these people because they're barely even trying. They are choosing the shortcut. Now, if you choose the hard route and you choose the route where you say, no, I'm going to focus on the skill for the next 10 years and I'm not going to look at anything else, you'll be the person that takes over. And honestly speaking, it doesn't even take 10 years. Me and my business partner were talking about somebody else within our niche, and he was like, okay, so they were doing SaaS very long time ago, my business partner and Prince. They were doing it from 3 years ago. Now, they started it, but they made the same mistake. They were chasing after money and not skills. So they said to themselves, okay, forget this, let's jump into another business model, another one, until they got into dropshipping. But there was one person who they were watching at the exact same period as when they started. The guy had around like 10 subscribers. He was saying, this is his journey, basically what I'm doing for my second channel. So this is his journey, this is how he's gonna achieve this amount of money, this, that, and the third. Now, me and my business partner are getting into SAS, or SaaS, and he went back to that person's channel and was like, this is the funniest thing, I was laughing about it. He said, all they had to do was just double down and stay in it and overcome all the hardships, because the person who started at the same time as they did, he's currently making around 3 million a year, or he's on some stupid amounts of money. Because he saw this one skill and doubled down on it. I'm pretty sure he's like 18, 19, so he's making stupid amounts of money because he focused on this one skill and just doubled down on it. That's literally all it takes. So in this world full of people who choose shortcuts. Sadly to them, they chose a shortcut and got out of that business model. That person stayed with it and was able to do that in 3 years. So it doesn't even take 10 years. 10 years is the most amount of time you want to give yourself, or it's the smartest thing you can do. But you could easily achieve a certain amount of wealth within 2 to 3 to 4 years of this niche if you become very skilled at it. For example, to link to somebody who you guys most likely may know is Brez Skills. Brez Skills, he speaks about being a freelance brand scaler or something like that. He is probably most likely very skilled at his product and what he does, and he's probably leading it within his niche. And especially because he's very good at content creation as well, he is getting in more and more clients and leads. Now, why is this beneficial? Because obviously he's increased the skill, value, and problem solving that he provides. Not even in terms of his freelance brand scaling, he's also problem solving people's lonely epidemic in society by making the videos which he posts, because people can resonate with them. Now, people will watch those videos and be like, hold on a minute, I want to have a brand, or I have a brand, I may as well work with Brez because I already binge watch all of his content. Genius. It's literally genius. Now that's getting him more and more clients within his business. Genius. Basically genius. So you want to acquire a skill and double down on it. Number 3, your 20s are prime time for skill acquisition. Now, if you are a teenager, you're even ahead of the curve. Let's say you are from, I don't even know, let's say you're from 13 to about 20. Even then, your teens, perfect time. This is the perfect time for skill acquisition because 1, low risk, high upside. So to speak about myself once again, leaving my job, the only reason why I can do this is because I have no children, I have no financial debts, I don't lose anything from losing my job. The only thing I lose is my source of income. And of course, my parents won't be funding for me. And if anything, push comes to shove, if it all goes to complete red in the mud, I can just get another job again. But that means I lose. It doesn't mean my family lose. It doesn't mean my children lose. It doesn't mean my girlfriend lose. And obviously, I don't have those last 2 things. They don't lose because everybody else is doing their own things. So at this point in time, I have no dependency. The only person dependent on me is me, which means I just have to do the work. And if I want to get more things after that, I just go get another job whilst also focusing on the business. But the only person who loses is myself. And that's good because that means I don't have to focus on anybody else. I don't have to stick to one job or stick to one thing, or I can't take any risk because somebody else's life will be jeopardized if I take this risk because we are so young. So if you're 13 up to about 30, if anything, age doesn't even really matter because I know people who are 20 with children. So if you don't have any financial restraints, take the risk. There's nothing called take the risk. Even for example, one of the things that actually made me want to make this video as well is the importance of skills and also avoiding financial debts. So for example, driving. I have my license, but I don't drive a car. Main reason is because I know how much a car will write me off. Literally, because I won't be able to invest as much as I do invest currently into business. But now let's say, for example, you are somebody who got your license, the same thing I've done, get your license, but you don't get a car. You are less likely to have to stick to doing a job because you aren't thinking about paying off a car or paying off insurance. You don't have any of these financial debts. So whilst you are young, acquire skills, but also avoid these debts that make you have to be like, okay, I have to stick to a job. I can't really take a risk. I sent my business partner some money. I'm not gonna say how much, but some money towards investing into our business even more because I don't have to think about, okay, at the end of the month, I have to pay 700 or 800 pounds towards my car. I don't have to think about that. That's why I can invest into business. Now, if you have those restraints, especially at a young age, try to get yourself out of them as much as you possibly can so that you can actually start investing into yourself and into your business and into your skills, because that will do so much better for you than anything else within your 20s. I'll say your teens and 20s because in case there's younger people watching this. But yes, your brain is sharp. You are probably going to be as sharp as you are now than you ever be, at least in terms of your health, if you're doing things right. If you're younger, you're probably just smoking and partying and drinking. Okay, your brain may be foggy, but it's easy for you to get back off that and get back in wired into what you should be doing in life. I highly recommend, if you are smoking, stop. If you're drinking, just limit it as much as possible. Even if you're doing it once a week, sure, just try and limit it as much as possible to the point where you're basically not doing it where it will be affecting you. Just stop those things. It will make your brain sharper so you can learn better. And also touch upon learning. I believe a lot of young people have this misconception about learning. Now, I understand why you won't want to go to school or you won't want to go to university because you've heard it everywhere. Everyone says you don't need to get a degree, you don't need to go through school and college to become a millionaire. Facts. However, you need to be a learner. If you stop learning or you think that learning is not needed, or you, for example, can't even dedicate some time for you to learn something, you will never accumulate wealth. You just won't. I've actually left school and learned more than I've ever learned before when I was in school. It's not saying that school didn't teach me. I wasn't taught in school. It's that now the things I'm learning are actually valuable. But I still have to learn. I'm actually been studying a lot more from leaving school than I was in school. So you can't say you hate studying. You can't say you hate learning. It's the fact that you just don't want to learn the things that you're currently learning. Now, that makes sense. Sure, you don't want to be learning and studying in school, but don't write off learning. You have to have the skill of also learning, being a student. You have to be a student. Because if you aren't, once again, you will definitely struggle to accumulate wealth. Because how are you going to learn how to make money if you can't even learn how to acquire the skills? You can outwork and outlearn most people. So for my age, I have quite a good physique. Especially for someone, I'm 21 years old. I have quite a good physique. If anything, I look extremely older than my age. The only reason why I look like that or have this or acquired this is because I started going to the gym from 15. That is 5 to 6 years underneath my belt. Yeah, 6 years this November. So 5 to 6 years of gym underneath my belt. Of course, I'm going to be looking like I can outwork older people because I've been doing it for so long. I've outworked people who probably started a little bit later than I did. That's all it takes. The earlier you start, the better. I've made a video about this on my channel. The earlier you start, go way back. The earlier you start, the better. The earlier you start going to the gym. The earlier you start in business, the earlier you start failing, the earlier you start making mistakes, the better. I'll even give you guys my quote. With enough time, enough mistakes, I can master anything I put my mind towards. Listen to the second part of it. Enough time. So you want to start as early as you possibly can to make enough mistakes for you to master anything you put your mind towards. Because let's say, for example, I said to you, you have until tomorrow to become, I don't know, to become a grandmaster at chess. Yeah, that's one of my goals, is to get a high chess elo. But you have until tomorrow to become a grandmaster at chess. You look at me and say, you're just insane. But let's say I said to you, you have your whole entire life to be able to do it. You have all the time inside of the literal world, or at least inside the world that you're living in, and you have to become a grandmaster, or I will do something to you later on. I don't know. You can do it. As much as it is very difficult to do, you can do it, because I've given you such a time frame that you have enough time to make enough mistakes when playing chess to the point where you can actually be taught and get a coach to make you become a grandmaster. Of course, it takes literally 0.111% of learning all these things to be able to do it, but with enough time, you will be able to do it. You just have to actually dedicate yourself to it. Now think about any other skill. If you truly want to become the number one person, you don't need to become the number one person. Like, for example, if we look at all these tech companies or all these like companies in the world, how many companies in the world are actually making billions, trillions, multi-millions, millions, and they're not even like the top number one in the world? So you don't need to be top number one, if anything. You just need to be really good at what you do. That's all it takes. Every mastered skill can become a money printer. And it's so funny that you think about this, yeah? How many times have you been on TikTok, or how many times have you been doom scrolling, or how many times you just looked around and seen, hold on, there's so many things that are actually monetizable. For example, on my table, I will look at, I have hairspray, I have body cream, I have body oil, I have body spray, I have roll-on, I have Vaseline, I have a comb, a brush, a derma roller, a derma stamp, I have muscle therapy, deep heat, I have colognes, I have all these sorts of things. All it took was different people to master the skill in those different things for them to all make money. All of them are probably millionaires. Every single one I'm looking at is probably owned by a millionaire. I'm looking at CeraVe, the brand, Lynx, Deep Heat, definitely millionaires, Vaseline, some other things on there that I can't really see. But all of these things are owned by people who are probably stupid rich. And they all have different skills in different criteria. It's a completely different skill to be able to make that brush which is on my table than to make the CeraVe facial cream on my table. They are completely different skills. But somebody's acquired the skills, and both of them are probably stupid rich right now. It's a different skill for you to be able to create content, whilst also it's a different skill for somebody to make this water bottle over here. But I can tell you right now, there are millionaires who create content, and there are millionaires who made this bottle. Simple. Because they are different skills. So let me tell you this. There are so many skills out there that you can monetize. So why does everybody choose one single skill? Not every single person in this world needs to be a crypto trader. Not every single person in this world needs to be a job shaper. It's something I'm even love. I don't know if this person's going to see the video, but today somebody messaged me on my Instagram, and he came from my second channel video, got on his For You page or something like that on YouTube. And he would like to me and him just been going back and forth, having just a calm conversation. And he would like to me, yeah, he's trying to grow his business and it's perfume. when he sent me the business and I saw his perfume, I was like, whoa, like, I'm impressed. Like, the fact that you're just, like, it's not some random crypto store or some random crypto thing he's doing or some random dropshipping. Like, he's actually trying to make a perfume brand. I'm looking at that like, I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, like, you're actually trying something different. Wow, that's literally crazy. But that's it. Literally that. He can attack that and instantly he can just be doing something crazy or making a lot of money. So there's so many skills out there that you can acquire. Of course, not every single, I'm not saying every single one of you should come own a perfume shop, no. And it's smarter or wiser for you to learn skills such as sales or copywriting. Those are two very good sales. Like, if you can sell and you can also copyright, you're probably going to make a lot of money in this life, like a lot of money. So I understand why leaning towards that. Even myself, I'm leaning towards, well, I'm even learning sales, I'm learning copyright, I'm learning a lot of skills right now that I can actually grow, one for my business and for my content creation. But learning these skills will do a lot well. And I understand, yes, it's the main thing that people want to do, especially as a man. Like, even the job that I'm creating now, so one of the reasons I also wanted to quit is that it's not really a masculine job, if anything. Like, it just doesn't fit at least where I want to be mentally. It doesn't really fit it. So yes, I understand why people want to be leaning towards the same ones, but I want you to broaden your mind out and be like, hold on, there's actually multiple skills that you can acquire for you to make a lot of money. Even, for example, you have multiple different types of sports, different types of artists. You have literal artists, you have musicians, you have instrumentalists, all these sorts of things. So many different ways that you can actually make money from a skill. So you don't have to choose the one route that every single other person takes. Number 4, why chasing money first is a trap. Chasing low quality opportunities with no long-term growth. It is a trap. It is one of the, this is the thing, I wouldn't say it is a waste of time, but it depends on the type of person that you are. And the reason why I say this is because when I was chasing low quality leads or low quality opportunities, like for example, Etsy dropshipping was quite low quality. We made the money, but it came to an end. It actually helped me to become the person who I am today. Like, the job that I got, being a supervisor, I only got that job because on my CV, it showed I had managerial expertise. The only reason why I had that is because I hired a small team when I was doing my dropshipping. That's it. It wasn't nothing crazy. I just put on my CV that I've hired a team when I was doing dropshipping. And I also had my editing team around that time. That's it. Literally, nothing crazy, just that. And that allowed me to be able to get this job, to be able to make enough money, to be able to leave this job to focus on my business. Now, I understand. That is mainly because of my persona. I was able to go through that and use it for where I am today. But if you're the person who just goes for that loss and then just tries again, and actually doesn't know when to quit, I would say to you, yeah, it's a waste of time. Because if you just go in there and keep trying to make new stores, like, I was very resilient. I kept trying, making new bank accounts, making new accounts, trying. It just all crumbled. And it just came to the point where I said, you know what? Just go get that job. Just go get the job. You can acquire other skills. Like, for example, my social skills improved for me getting this job. So sometimes you just have to know when it's time to let go of these low quality opportunities and focus on the real things. Focus on a long-term business. You will burn out because there's no foundation underneath. Now, the story I want to link this to is the story inside the Bible where Jesus talks about building making sure you're on the right foundation. Now, I believe it is between the man who builds his foundation or builds his house on the rocks and it's the person who builds the house on the sand. Now, when the storm comes, the person on the sand, he's finished because obviously he's on sand. His house is just going to crumble and go underneath. But the person who's built his house on the rock, he is going to withstand this wind. Now, that's the same way you want to see the business model which you are in or the skills which you have. You can build a business, but if what you've built it on is not the skills that you have acquired, that business will crumble. People fail. Businesses don't fail. So if you fail because you don't have the skills to actually maintain this thing, you can see where it went wrong. Now, let's say, for example, you had some skills and the business crumbled. It's better, or it's not, at least not better, but it's better than the person who made a business, the business grew, the business crumbled, but the person actually had no skills to start with. Because that person starts at 0, but at least this person starts out with level 1. Because they have skills anyway. They can just restart with these skills that they had acquired. Now, depending on luck, trends, or gimmicks, that's what a lot of people be doing. When they're chasing this money or this quick money, this fast money, you're hoping that what you post is trendy or what you post is going to blow up, it goes viral, all these sorts of things. It's luck you're looking for. But luck can only last for so long. You can get lucky, but Will that luck be on a strong foundation? Most likely no. And if that happens, what will you do then? Bang. It's the same way that you can look at people who win the Monopoly, or not Monopoly, what's that thing? The lottery, that's it. Who win the lottery and they make all that money, but because they wasn't the person who had the skills to be able to maintain this money, they usually just go bankrupt really fast. So I'm saying to you, focus on the skills, acquire the skills, and with the skills, you'll be able to make the money and maintain the money. When things crash, you're back at zero. As I was talking about earlier, or literally a second ago. If you build this business and you have no skills, or you somehow make some money, but you have no skills to maintain the money, or even duplicate how you did it, or not even, there was no real skill into it. Like for example, the skills which I learned in Etsy dropshipping, I can't replicate that anywhere else. Like for example, the way that I was, let me think, stuff like, okay, you guys won't actually understand unless you did it, but the way that I was copying my competitors' listings, I can't implement that into my business right now. Maybe the copywriting could help me, but I was literally just copy and paste and putting a ChatGPT and then just spitting it back out and putting it back onto the listing. Those were skills for that, but I'm not doing it anymore. It's practically useless. But the skills of the discipline of keep going when I was doing it, the resilience when I was tired, I said no, let me just do one more listing. Those sorts of things I can use, but the other things is practically useless, and that's what I built the business on. It was basically useless. And those skills of discipline and resilience, I actually even learned that from Etsy dropshipping. I learned that from going to the gym from way back when, as I said, when I was 15. So you want to focus on honing in the skills rather than just going into any other business model. Ask yourself, can this actually solve somebody's problem for a very long time? If no, don't even waste your time. The money comes after the mastery. So master the skill, build the reputation, and monetize with leverage. So once you master the skill, once you've become the person known for doing this thing, you can then also monetize this with the leverage. Well, with leverage. You've become the person who deserves to make the money because you are the person with the skill. Like, let's think about this. How many people out there sell business courses or mentoring courses or sales courses, all these sorts of things? And they make money from those courses because they have the skill. They've mastered the skill. Clearly, they've done something that other people want to learn from. Well, learn about. Well, they've done it. Why can't you do it? Well, you can. You just have to focus on doing that and it will get done. Become known for something valuable. People pay you to do it, teach it, or lead with it. That's speaking about. If you become known for the person who is amazing at sales, that one-of-one salesman or something like that, people will pay you to either be their salesman, to teach their sales team how to do it, or to join their sales team and lead with it or something like that. That's what will happen because you have acquired that skill. So when you acquire these skills, you acquire these irreplaceable skills, if anything, you will become the person who makes the most money. As I showed earlier about increasing skill or increasing value, increasing problem solving equals increasing money. So focus on increasing these things once again and you'll make more money. So money is the byproduct, not the focus. Learn, earn, leverage. So money is not, should never be the goal, if anything. It is, your goal wants to be, you want to be the person that money chases afterwards. Sorry, my cat has just hit the camera and she's scratching her scrap post. But yes, you want to be the person that money chases afterwards. You want to be the person that has so many skills or have acquired such skills and mastered them to the point where money is now chasing after you. So learn the skill and make the skill so valuable that you earn money and then leverage that by building systems so that you consistently make money from it. Like, example, somebody, okay, let me give Charlie Morgan. Don't I keep leaning into what Charlie Morgan? Let me think, who else is there? But Charlie Morgan. He learned sales. Now he earns money from his business because he's the main salesman for his business. But he also built the systems where he can actually sell his skills from learning sales. So he has his coaching business. He also has his own business, which he creates vast amounts of content that sell his product. So all of these things, that is exactly how you do it. Learn, earn, and then leverage. Number 6, how to choose the right skills. So I want you to ask yourself, or ChatGPT, what is in demand? What solves real problems? What can't be easily automated or outsourced? And what do I enjoy enough to suffer for? So the last 2 questions I want to touch upon. What can't be easily automated or outsourced? So for example, within our niche right now, at least what we are selling, we are focusing on basically taking out the unautomated or the hard part, which can be automated in dental and aesthetic clinics. That is it. We can't take the practitioner away. We can't insert another practitioner. But what we can do is automate the tasks that can be automated. Let's say, for example, they had a receptionist or they had somebody who was doing these mundane tasks, even for example, themselves doing it. We come in and we automate that. We will get paid for that because they can't be bothered to do that. And if they're paying a real human to do that, they can actually pay us cheaper per month, and probably not cheaper per month, but they can pay us per month and it would actually be more worth it because they get a full system, for example. And so there's no point trying to learn something that is fully automated, or well, that can be automated or outsourced. If you are trying to get into, like, for example, high ticket editing, it can be, there's probably an Indian or some Filipino that will do it for $5. So you are being quite outcompeted on price. Next, what do I enjoy enough to suffer for? And the reason why I had to use the word suffer is because any single business that you want to make money from, you will have to suffer it. You have to endure through it and suffer in it, because that is the only way that you will accumulate wealth. Realistically, I don't know what type of wealth you want to accumulate, but if you want to make enough money to be self-sufficient, you will have to suffer at one point in time during your journey to be able to achieve this goal. Now, if you are not ready to suffer for this thing, you just won't do it. But the suffering is inevitable. So choose something you can suffer for. Like, I'm tired. I would rather actually be lying down in bed, but I have to create content because I want to achieve some sort of substance from creating content. I want to probably go to bed, but I will be doing more work today. Like I spoke about my second channel. I think this video is coming out at the same time as the video on my second channel. The amount of work that I have to do today, I had to outreach today. I've gone to the gym, I've already gone to the spa, I went to have coffee with my friend, create short form content, record B-roll, record my main channel video, this video, update my planner, plan content for all of my YouTube accounts, all of my social media accounts. So I have I would say, okay, I have around 9 channels, or let's say, no, 10 social media accounts, which I run all by myself. I have to make content for all of them. I probably don't have to, but I currently do. I don't know why, probably not the most smartest thing or wisest thing that I can do, but I do it anyway. I have to record more and go live on TikTok after this. Literally, it is 6:10. I'm going to finish this, go straight live for about 30-40 minutes. That's why I go and ask some more personal questions, and I have to go back out and actually not go back out, but come off the live and call a potential client tonight. Then I'm hitting the hay and go and work tomorrow. If you don't enjoy what you do, or you don't have a greater reason for doing it, when you're going through the suffering, you will not do it. You will back out. So you have to ask yourself, what do I enjoy enough to suffer for? And just like that, you will understand exactly what you want to be doing and know why you are doing it. Now, your action plan. For watching to the end, I'm going to give you an action plan that you should do. So pick one high income skill: sales, copywriting, there's others, I just can't think of them top of my head. It's one high income skill. Even, for example, being a fitness coach, learning finding what's missing in the fitness niche right now and filling that gap in the market. Dedicate 6 to 12 months to mastering it. Offer it for free to build proof. Then, as you increase your value, you can increase your price, and that will increase your status. So, you want to pick a skill. Doesn't matter what skill it is, choose one. Content creation could be that as well. Anything. Choose a skill and say to yourself, for the next 6 to 12 months, I'll be focusing on it. You have the time. If you are in your teens or your 20s, you have the time. If you're at school, you have the time. Finish school, just go do it after school. You have to study, do it after you study. Find time. You will find time. I promise you, that time which you spend doom scrolling, the time you're even watching this video, take it out of your routine. Focus on that one skill. 6 to 12 months. Do it for a long period of time to allow the consistency to compound. Do it. And then offer it for free to build proof. So you want to try this thing. Say to people, I've been doing this for this amount of time. I just want to see whether it actually works or not. Or you could definitely package it better. Offer it to somebody so you get experience. Now you've gotten this experience, sell it. sell it. You've shown you can provide value. Now you've shown you can provide value. You can actually increase your price, so you can sell this thing that you're probably giving away for free. You can now sell it for, I don't know, £50 or something like that. And then after that, as you make more money, you increase your status, and it goes right back into the loop. To recap on everything, skills over chasing money. Money equals the result. It is the byproduct. It is not what you should be focusing on. Your 20s is for mastery. It's not for flexing. So don't be thinking now I'm going to get 10k a month from dropshipping or 10k a month from crypto or whatever sort of thing. You're going to make fast money, flex in your 20s, and in your 30s, you have nothing to show for it. Because social media is dark. They will be watching you, and they will find you, and they will laugh at you. Don't waste your time doing those things. Sadly, even all the dropshippers who we were learning from Etsy dropshipping, they've all gone dark. They've all gone missing. Because clearly, it just stopped working for every single person. It happens. I'm not going to come and laugh at them and dog them. It happens. It happens in niches. Just make sure that you've actually acquired skills so you can actually be adaptable within the market. So 20s is for mastery. You want to master skills so that money chases after you. And finally, chasing skills and money comes quietly but powerfully. The money will come. You don't have to be filled with anxiety or be anxious saying, when am I going to make the money? If you focus on the skills and you just literally just have yourself available to be able to actually just be smart and actually be weaving through the market and see, okay, then hold on, there's an opportunity there that I can get in and my skill will be able to help them, bang. You jump into that, you take that leap, and you'll go make that money. So thank you for watching this far into the video, guys. I want to ask you guys, what skill are you currently building? And if you aren't currently building a skill, what skill will you start building? I want you to comment this down below inside the comments. I want to see what skills you guys have chosen to focus on for the next 6 to 12 months. If anything, you want to be held accountable, you can click the link inside the description and join my Discord community and let me know. I'm currently even building it out myself so that I can actually be being held accountable and be speaking to people about the things that I'm trying to be doing. Additionally, if you like today's video or you like these style of videos or you just want to see more of me, you can click the link inside of my description and see my second channel. Now remember, guys, a man with skill can always rebuild. A man without skill is always starting over. Now thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys inside the next one.